Thank you all for coming to this Inform Your Community event, Craftivism event. My name is Jake. My pronouns are he, they. I am a young white man with brown hair. My shirt is red and my background is brownish, but there's a black fridge and some other stuff. Closed captioning is enabled and can be turned on by participants. And here at Inform Your Community, we offer events that combine important, impactful information with having fun. So you can visit us on our website at www.informyourcommunity.org, and you can find our social media links on the bottom of our website. Tell your friends to sign up for our mailing list on the top right of our website, and of course, you can donate using our donate link, which is also at the top right of the page. If you're watching the recording of this video, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and comment on YouTube as it really helps us out. And we love to hear what you think of our crafts, events, and to see your finished projects on social media. This event is part of our Craftivism program where adults learn different art techniques while discussing relevant social issues, and today's topic is retirement and aging. If you're joining us live tonight, you will be entered into a drawing to win an air travel gift set. Be sure to stay on till the end to see if you're the winner. So understanding more about retirement and aging is an important topic for many reasons. A 2024 study found that only 68% of workers and 74% of retirees are confident enough that they'll have enough money to live comfortably through retirement. Yet in 2022, 9.1% of all households with an older adult were food insecure, with a higher rate, 11.4%, seen among those ages 65 plus living alone. With so many people affected, this is certainly an important topic. We are very grateful to have Tyler to help us with tech issues and help monitor the chat. And throughout the craft, if you have any questions or comments on the craft or the topic, please feel free to unmute yourself or talk or write in the chat. And we love to see your work in progress, so feel free to show your project to the camera as you make it and when it's complete. I'd like to take a quick moment to introduce our crafter for today, Stacy. Stacy will help us with our art technique today, which is gold leafing. So Stacy, would you want to tell us more about the technique we're learning about today?
Yes, absolutely. Can you guys hear me? Okay, perfect. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Stacy. My pronouns are she and her. I am a white woman with curly brown hair. My shirt is navy blue, and my background is a white virtual background with the Inform Your Community Craftivism logo. So today we are designing a wood ornament or a decoration using gold leaf. I was specifically drawn to gold leafing for or to make a keepsake for this topic. Because as you are thinking about retiring, or if you are retired, it is a good way to reflect on a particular memory, a wonderful memory by making this item as a keepsake. Or actually by making a second one with the extra set of materials that you're going to have. Once you learn the technique of using gold leaf, you can apply it to a variety of surfaces, including paper, wood, ceramics, resin, textiles, and metal. And with something so versatile, it seems so fitting to show you how to decorate a picture frame that you may have in your home that you want to decorate, a family keepsake that you may have, something ceramic perhaps, or even transform some antique furniture that you have by highlighting it with some gold leaf. Historically, Egyptians have used gold leafing on sculptures and in tombs. Manuscripts during the Middle Ages have featured intricate gold leaf detail in some initials and illustrations. So in fact, I think it's safe to say that many of us have possibly seen gold leaf and maybe were a little unsure of what it actually was, but after tonight, you will absolutely be able to point some out. So before we begin, I just want to let everyone know what they will need for their craft. So for the craft, everyone is going to need a pen or a pencil, a pair of scissors, and some tape, either packing tape or any tape that you have in your household. The tape is going to be best for picking up the random flakes of gold leaf that do flake off and maybe get on your clothing or on your surface. But it is important to know that just be careful using tape on any surfaces that might be delicate or fragile. If you have our kit, you have been you've been given a photo, a paper placemat, And be careful when you do take the paper placemat out because the gold leaf sheets are hiding in between there in the paper placemat. You do have a baggie with some tacky glue in there. 2 brushes. It is important to keep one of the brushes dry during this process. You have 2 keepsakes, 2 wooden keepsakes with a hole, and a wood piece that we'll be using later on in the shape of a heart or a star. You have also gold leaf in 3 colors, so you'll be able to design in different colors. And there is some string for hanging, which we will do later on. If you don't have our kit, do look for something to work on to protect your surface. A photograph if you have, tacky glue. In a pinch, if you don't have tacky glue, a glue stick will work for this project as well on wood. A brush, if you happen to have 2 brushes, that's great. Again, one for glue, one to keep dry. A wooden item, an old picture frame will work. Gold leaf. And if it is something that you do have in your household that you're using, it is good to have a napkin, a paper towel, a washcloth, an old sock, something to wipe off your item before you do start designing. So while you are taking out your materials and before we begin, I just want to point out a few things about working with gold leaf. So a person that does work with gold leaf is called a gilder. So tonight, hello and welcome, fellow gilders. A real life gold leaf is it's beaten into very thin sheets. I'm sorry, real gold leaf is beaten into very thin sheets, averages about 0.12 microns in thickness. Real gold leaf can cost about $25 a sheet for, and that's just for one sheet. This type of gold does tarnish and does need a sealant on top of it. There is also imitation gold leaf, which costs about $8 for a pack of 25 sheets, which you can get in a local craft store. For imitation gold leaf is made of various different types of metals. And needless to say, we are using imitation gold leaf for this design. So try avoiding touching your gold leaf. There's also silver leaf with your fingers. The oils on your fingers can tarnish gold leaf, and especially silver leaf can tarnish. Additionally, a single touch can cause gold leaf, whether real or imitation, to crumble. So gold leaf does come with transfer sheets, and we'll be touching it and using it with those transfer sheets. So to apply gold leaf to your project, we are going to use the brush or transfer tissue that comes with the gold leaf. We'll be sharing some important information with you about our topic this evening, right after we go over our first step, which will be preparing your surface. So if you have our kit, or if you've gathered some materials, we're going to take out our piece of paper and place that down in front of us for our workspace. Again, if you don't have our kit, you get an old newspaper, a paper plate, a piece of foil, something to protect your workspace. It's a good idea to also check your item and make sure you have removed any dust particles that would be for the item that you're going to be using gold leaf on. If you have our kit, you don't need to wipe it off because it is a new item and it's dust free. So let's begin by taking out all of our materials and laying them out in front of us. And while our crafters are working on that, let's see. Jake, I have a trivia question for you while we are working on taking out our materials. So the Whitewood Cottage in Seattle was once owned by Edith Macefield. It is the inspiration for what 2009 Disney Pixar movie.
I think that I actually do know this one. No, this one is the movie Up.
Yes.
Yes, so I believe that Disney Pixar used Edith Macefield's refusal to sell her home to developers as a marketing tool for the movie Up, in which a pensioner refuses to give up in the face of development. And I believe the house, now known as Whitewood Cottage, is still standing today.
Yes, absolutely. I loved the movie Up. It was a great movie. Um, and I thank you for sharing that because I actually realized too that it is actually still standing. So that's amazing. Um, so we are going to move our crafters on to our second step to create their own real life work of art. So in our second step, you have the photo or a photo of your own. And we are going to, if you have our kit, you've been given the photograph and you want to think about what area of the photo is going to be displayed on your keepsake. Because as you can see, you can use a variety of the photograph a variety of different ways. So also take note which part of the image you want to be the part that's going to be up, because later on we will be putting a small hole at the end in that photo. So you just want the hole to go in the spot where you are okay with it being. So you're going to just be sure to turn the photo over and trace with a pen or pencil on your keepsake the outline of that. And after you do trace the photo, you will take our scissors and we will cut it out with the scissors. So remember, you want to make sure you're tracing an area of the keepsake that you want to be displayed on an area of the photo you want to be displayed as your focal point. So while our crafters are working on tracing and cutting, Jake, would you mind sharing with us some important topics, some important terms associated with retirement and aging?
Yes, 100%. So I would first like to say that there are a lot of important terms associated with retirement and aging, the first of which being retirement. So retirement recurs after a person has stopped working because they reached a particular age and is typically associated with being able to financially afford to do so. Retirees, however, can still work. And aging is associated with age-related physiological deterioration, typically with a person's ability to function day to day, survive, and reproduce. There's also something called aging in place, which is the decision to remain in your home and community as you age. This contrasts what people tend to think about retirement, that people retire and then move somewhere else.
Well, thank you so much for sharing those important terms. I can certainly think of a few people that I know in my life that have chosen to age in place. I'm very excited to learn some more about this topic and some important facts. And we are going to move along to our next step before we do learn a bit more. So we are going to be applying glue to our keepsake. But before we apply glue, I just want to explain some important facts about why we are using tacky glue for this project. And that is what you do have if you do have our kit. And if not tacky glue, also the a glue stick again would work in a pinch. So the type of glue that you use for gold leaf does depend on the surface that you are applying the gold leaf to. So since we are using wood and wood is a porous material, for the gold leaf to stick, we want to use a water-based glue. So tacky glue is water-based. Gold leaf is going to, and actually a glue stick is water-based as well. So that's why it will work for this. Gold leaf is going to stick to all the areas that have glue. So you can get as creative here as you would like with the surface. And I do just want to mention for the photo that you've cut, I'm sorry, do put that aside because we're going to glue that on later. So for right now, just take that and put it to the side. So the gold leaf is going to stick to every area that there is glue. It's important to note that we're going to apply glue using one of the brushes, and the other brush is going to be used for later on for wiping away some of the gold leaf that we're not using. And as you're applying the glue, we don't want to use too much, a very thin layer to start with, and we will move it around. And we do have to wait for the glue to get exactly as it's called, tacky. So we would let it sit for a little bit. It should still have a little bit of a shine to it, but in other words, also just a little bit drier and not fully wet before we're applying gold leaf. So we'll apply our first thin layer, let it sit for a couple of minutes to get tacky, and before applying gold leaf. The glued area should have like a slight shine to it before we do start to apply the gold leaf. If you have our kit, you have glue in the baggie. It is best to open the baggie and do dip the brush into the baggie to apply the gold leaf. If that doesn't work for you and you'd like, you can cut a very tiny small piece off of the baggie to dispense it there, but it does tend to run a little bit that way. So it is best, you'll be more in control of how much glue you apply to the brush by opening the baggie and using it that way. If you are using a glue stick, again, apply it to the area and still spread it out with one of your brushes. So feel free to watch me first if you'd like. But with an area of this size, it is, you may choose to put glue on the entire area, but again, this is your design. So if you want to maybe do one side of it with gold leaf, then just apply glue to one side. And like I said, just feel free to watch me first if you'd like to as we continue. So as we are applying glue and waiting for it to dry, Jake, would you tell us some of the values associated with retirement and aging?
Absolutely. So one value is health. Another value that comes to mind is quality of time. And some others include independence, community, and security.
Thank you so much for sharing those. These are all definitely very important concepts in our topic today, for sure. So I hope all of you can see. I did not over dip the brush, and I am just really gently spreading out in the areas. And sometimes, you can see as you're holding, your fingers may slightly get in the way, so then you can just rotate your item around to get in all the areas. Okay. So thank you so much, Jake, for those sharing those values with us, for sure. Okay, so I can see here that it's somewhat tacky, not too wet. Tacky glue does dry pretty fast, especially on this amount of surface area. So I'm going to apply, you can take your gold leaf sheets, and you have been given them in, if you have our kit, there are 3 different colors here. And you want to apply it right to the glued area, and we're going to touch it using, each sheet should have its own transfer paper with it. So we're gently just taking one out, sliding it to the side. Remember, later we are going to apply the embellishments somewhere along here. So you want to keep that in mind with your design. And For larger areas, you can also think about overlapping your gold leaf sheets. So you can absolutely layer if you'd like to. So I am going to just take this in my hand and I'm going to just put the gold leaf down on one side. And you don't even have to press too firmly. I'm just going to gently place that there. And with another sheet, I have the silver leaf. I'm going to do two-tone. Whoop, and you can see it flies away and put the edge on the other side. And it can get a little crumply, and that is totally fine. That's what the dry brush is for. So we're going to place that down. As you can see, it does stick very easily and quickly. It's very, very thin. You want to then take your dry brush, and what you're going to do is just wipe away the gold leaf that where you don't want it. And you can kind of just really brush at it, like brush and wipe and brush and wipe. And you will see the pieces that you do not want start to flake off. Don't discard those pieces because you can absolutely use them later on. And this can be done, you can reapply your gold leaf sheets to spots that maybe didn't take with the glue. And you'll be able to just repeat the steps to those areas. So this is another example that I have where the gold leaf didn't stick to the area. And even in this example here, as you're brushing and wiping away. So if I do want to cover the entire area, I would just take my wet brush and apply more glue. And just reapply some pieces of gold leaf in those spots. So you're going to gently brush away any excess pieces. Definitely don't discard the flaky pieces because you will need them still for your design. Again, if you've missed any spots and my gold leaf is flying away on my silver leaf.
Stacy,
Yes,
I just have a quick question. Is there a right and wrong side to the gold leaf?
there is not.
Okay, perfect.
Nope. Nope, both sides can be used. So again, as you're applying, keep in mind that the embellishment that you have will be added to your design wherever you'd like to apply it. And if you are layering, don't forget also to wipe away on the top to show the differentiation between the two colors that you have there. And you can just keep pushing and wiping away and then reapplying some glue. So when you are happy with your design, and feel free with the imitation. The imitation gold leaf won't tarnish like real gold leaf will. So this one, you can start to pick up pieces if you like, if it's easier in these small areas. Your brush can actually work to help you do that as well in your design. So as you can see, it's very flaky. When you are happy with your design on the front, you can move your materials off to the side, take some of the glue and use it to put your photo onto the other side of your keepsake. So don't use too much glue here. And again, do keep your dry brush dry so that you can still work with the gold leaf on the other side. But as you are applying glue to your photo, you don't want to overuse the glue because it, as you know, it will spill out on the sides and then possibly run off onto the other side. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue and place my photo down there and gently attach it to my keepsake. So while we are designing with gold leaf, I just actually, Jake, want to bring us back to healthcare. I couldn't agree more with the importance of access to healthcare, especially since in 2024, a study found fewer adults in their 60s are retired. And between 2002 and 2007, 41% of US adults were 60 to 64 years old, and 76 of US adults aged 65 to 69 were retired. However, between 2016 and 2022, just 32% of US adults were 60 to 64 years old, and 70% of adults aged 65 to 69 were retired.
Oh, wow, that's fascinating. And to add to that statistic, more retired people are considered elderly. In fact, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, 9.5% of the civilian labor force are expected to be older than 65 by the year 2030. The normal retirement age established by the Social Security Act in 1935 was 65, and in 1983 that age was raised to 67. With these numbers, it's a good thing that the National Senior Citizen Law Center, the NSCLC, exists. Their principal mission is to protect the rights of low-income older adults, and it also works to strengthen and preserve Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, and SSI, benefit programs that allow low-income older adults to live with dignity and independence. And actually, people can work in their elder years for decades. Take, for example, Grandma Moses, born in the year of 1860. At the age of 78, when arthritis rendered her unable to embroider, she began painting. Her work was exhibited internationally into her 90s, and she continued painting until a few months before her death at age 101.
Wow, that
Oh,
is
I see somebody raise their hand.
Yeah, that's me.
Hi.
I'm also at retirement age, 67.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Yeah, I said I'm also at retirement age, 67.
Oh my God. Congratulations.
Yeah, I found this on the web. I thought I'd check it out. Pretty
Oh,
This is
You're
new.
full of bull crap.
welcome.
You don't
Excuse,
sound that old.
excuse me.
Nothing but I'm just pulling your leg.
Oh, okay. Let's get back. Let's get back to presentation. I'll put my hand down for you.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, I'm glad to be here.
Yeah,
Oh, thank you.
Don't get up.
a great pastime. Maybe, you know, I know I find sometimes with art or something that we've never used before can be intimidating to use. So I think this is a great, you know,
Like a great outlet.
yeah, yep. Especially since you can adorn furniture. You know, if you have something in your home that you're looking to maybe adorn with some color. And even if you paint, if we have some painters, and maybe you don't want to use a metallic paint, this is a good way to use something else instead of paint. So it's a good thing to trial.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So as
Yeah,
far as
Pacino.
Grandma Moses, wow, she worked until she was 101.
Yeah, like to come on.
Into her 90s, sorry. Yeah, and before her death at 101. Wow. Thank you. Excuse me so much, Jake. I do just want to talk about the
Go
final
ahead.
step of our
Full
of
box.
craft. And, you know, once you've finished designing with your gold leaf, silver leaf, and even added your photo. So you do have string. If you have our kit, these pieces do have a cutout on them. So you've been, oh, actually, so before that, sorry, we have the heart or the star or any embellishment that you do have at home. Maybe you have some foam cutouts or maybe something, a nice shiny embellishment. You can use those as well. So it is important to know before adding any embellishment here that you do want your gold leaf to be flat and not bulky. Sorry, I saw a technical difficulty.
Oh, so I thought that was just on my screen. I didn't mean to do that.
No worries.
No worries.
Sorry.
You're good.
So it is important to know that your gold leaf is not bulky because you want your embellishment to stick properly to your design and where you want to add it. Take a dab of some of the glue that you have, and you're going to put your embellishment anywhere you'd like on the design. These cutouts are made of veneer. So you can actually even choose to take some of the gold leaf and add it on top of the embellishment that you are using. And again, this is a veneer, so the glue that we are using, the tacky glue, is going to stick. The gold leaf will stick to that. So I'm just going to add some glue to, I have my heart, and I'll add that on. And I'm going to just place that right in the middle of our design. And that's going to dry. Now, if you have once, this at this point is up to your own creative discretion, obviously, to where you want to put your embellishment. Once both sides are completely dry, you are going to either take a toothpick or the tip of your scissors, something, as you can see, the photo covers the hole. And if you do want to string this as to hang it somewhere, you will just have to poke a hole through the photo.
Question.
Yeah.
What would you recommend poking the hole with if I don't have access to scissors?
A toothpick will work.
Toothpick.
Yes.
Okay. Because I
Yeah,
didn't know if it was.
toothpick. She said toothpick earlier.
Yeah, a toothpick may work.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You listening, buddy?
Sometimes even if you need to, you may have to use, if you don't have a toothpick, the tip of a pen. If you are going to use something other than scissors, you do want to make sure that your photo is completely dried to it, because you don't want it to pull it up or poke it, through too much. You may even need to poke through if you've embellished with the hole with gold leaf. You may also just need to find the hole on the other side where the gold leaf is as well.
Okay. Is Reggie B a co-host or
No,
Reggie B?
I think he's just a fellow attendee.
Yeah.
He's answering a lot of my questions.
He's got it. He's
Yeah.
10 to, oh, appreciate it. It's quicker than me.
Hey, I'm always here when you need me.
Yep. So
Sure are. You sure are.
so this is where, again, you're going to string if you'd like to. Poke the hole through both sides and just put the string through. And then, of course, make a knot on the top, and you're then you can just make a standard knot, and then you have it for hanging. So I have this side with our photo and this side with the gold leaf. And again, if you see that there are, even at this point, if there's some spots that you miss, you can always go back and continue to add gold leaf and brush away. If you are working on larger areas, so I had mentioned picture frames, you can, what you want to do is start in a small area and work on your small area and apply and overlap and apply and overlap.
And I see there's just one other question. Would you
Yes.
put a thin layer on top of the gold leaf to seal it?
A thin layer of glue? Or a thin layer of what?
I believe glue, but I don't want to say for glue. Yeah.
You don't have to with this, not for the imitation. With real gold leaf and especially with silver leaf, if you're not buying the imitation kind, then yes, real gold does need to be sealed because it will tarnish on your items. So there are sealants that you can look up what is the best to use for that particular piece of material. And if it is, again, the real gold leaf, that can be a little more pricey, like 25. And you'll know, obviously the real gold leaf, they do not have that, I believe, in the craft stores. What I found was mostly imitation gold leaf. So you do not need to seal this. It will not tarnish, and it does hold with the proper glue that you are using. I do like to mention also too, if anyone is a adult, if you like to do adult coloring, I have seen gold leaf used on really to exemplify some areas, maybe on some coloring pages. What you can do is take a brush and do a fine layer of glue. Maybe if, you know, say for example, if it's a deer and you want to add some gold to the antlers, you would just put some glue there and then apply the gold leaf and then let it dry and peel it away. And again, a dry brush, you could work at it to move around the particles. The flaky, sorry, the gold leaf particles where you want them or don't want them.
We're also being asked if we know if condensed milk could be used instead of glue.
Yeah, that was me.
That I do not know, but I don't know that it would.
The only reason I was asking because when you are dealing with condensed milk, it does get sticky and like
Yeah.
I was just wondering because like it's the same effect.
Yeah, I
But
think
you
it
put
could work to like an extent, but glue would probably be just a more efficient.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if I don't have my hands on it, I could just use some milk, condensed milk.
Okay. Definitely try. You can try for sure.
Will do.
So again, yes, I have seen it and on some coloring pages, and it has it's another way to really highlight some areas on something colored. So has anyone that's on, do you want to share if you have our kit and or have any materials at home that you are using? If anyone wants to share with us their finished product, that would be awesome.
Sorry, my connection was bugging out a little. I heard condensed milk. What was the clarification on that?
Yeah, so basically, they asked about if condensed milk could work instead of glue because
Yeah,
it kind
that
of
was me.
similar sticky effect. And I said it might work, but I think glue would be easier if you have it on hand. If not, then I think you could try. But I think glue would be a simpler, just medium, if you will.
But like you also would use condensed milk, like in a certain type of cake, which contains gold leaf, and you
There-
use the condensed milk to put the said gold leaf on the cake. I think it's called like sparkle cake maybe, or perhaps birthday cake, or not birthday cake, or special birthday cake.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see, like confectionery. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like it's a so so garnishes on your food.
Right.
It's not meant for edibility, but it's just meant for extra, just to make the food look more appetizing. But you're not actually supposed to eat it. But that's where the condensed milk is used for the and with the gold leaves.
Yeah.
See.
I
I'll do
and
that.
I think in those examples, in those cases, it's discarded, so it's not something that's going to be left like as a keepsake.
Yeah,
So you know, going forward, you know, if your intention is to create a keepsake, and have it something that you really want to have the gold leaf stick to and stay there long term,
yeah,
definitely some type of glue would be the better option. If you're going to do it in short term and discard what it is you're using to, you know, make it, you know, more shiny and pretty, then definitely in a pinch, I would imagine that condensed milk would work. I do know that it is very sticky. I understand what you're saying.
yeah. And like I think I just realized this was a very silly question because condensed milk expires and it will start to smell
Yeah.
bad, very
I
bad.
was gonna say the same thing.
Mhm. But
That's
again, if it's going to be discarded and you're only using it for short term, you know, like you have a dinner party or a guest coming, and then absolutely, you know, and then you just discard it.
Yeah, because milk it can't go bad in a day.
Mhm,
And just
mhm.
discard after.
Yeah.
Thank you
And
too.
as you're working, you know, once you're cleaning up, because cleanup is an important step as well, the tape can be folded over. And if it got onto your clothing at all, or any flakes flew away, a great way to pick up any of those flakes would be with tape, of course, as long as it's not going to be on anything fragile, where it would ruin um, your area. So
well,
that's it.
yeah, there's
Thank you.
nothing else. I'm gonna just send us out. I just want to say thank you to Stacy for and thank you to our wonderful crafters for showing up today. We appreciate your attendance, your comments, everything. It
Yep.
means a lot. We hope you will continue to learn more about retirement and aging. And to help, we're going to send our event video, an infographic, and a follow-up email by the end of next week, which we encourage you to share with others. Also, please consider committing to a weekly act centered on retirement and aging, or learning about retirement and aging. Getting informed by coming to this event is a great way to start, but we also encourage you to gift Storyworth or a journal to a loved one who is getting older to record stories about their life. Volunteer in a retirement home or look into a career as a caregiver for someone in your life who needs extra help and care. Talk to someone about your or a loved one's stages of retirement, encore career, or any other retirement plans, and and remember to share this infographic as well. Our email will include another brief survey of what you thought of the event itself. We'd appreciate it if you took the time to respond. Right now, a poll is going to pop up on your screens asking about some questions about the event. It's not the same as the ones you'll get in the survey. And our schedule for the year is going to be posted or is posted on our website. Again, that's www.informyourcommunity.org. Tickets, materials, and shipping are free for our online crafting events such as this one, so please sign up. Remember, only those who signed up a week before the events will receive the kits mailed to them. And our next free event is a know-it-all discussion event on digital literacy on Thursday, March 20th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So to look for and learn about other Inform Your Community events, not only our Craftivism program, but other events like our popcorn and chats, our much to discuss, our know-it-alls, you can check out our website. And again, if you're watching this video on YouTube, please be sure to like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. And please consider donating to cover the cost of the materials and shipping if you can't afford it, as it helps keep our events free for those who can't. Also, before we leave, I just wanted to reveal the winner of our raffle, and that is John Marco. So congratulations.
Yes.
Message Tyler, Stacy, or I your
Yes.
email address. We're gonna be able to send you the prize. I believe
Hey,
it was
congrats, John.
Thanks, Verge.
It was the airline travel, the airline travel gift set. So just message
It would be me. I
set
knew
up
it.
us and we can get you set up with that. And for everyone else, I want to thank you for coming and for helping inform your own communities based on what you learned today. So thank you so much. And that would be the end of our event. John, you're welcome to stay. Oh yeah, John, if you want, you could also email info@informyourcommunity.org, or I'll write it in the chat, whatever's easiest for you.
All right.
That sums up
Thank
our
you,
event.
everyone.
Thanks all for coming.